Alright guys, we're gonna get right into it. We got a full analysis of the gameplay they showed us on the live stream for Dragon Ball The Breaker Season 3. We're gonna start with Ginyu and then move to the transfers as well as survivor skins. So first up with Ginyu, the first stage in the new Raider is Guldo. And let's go ahead and go over him real fast. So Guldo is your starting character for the Ginyu Force. You will start with him as your level 1. He has 1 active skills and 2 super attacks. His first active skill is Time Freeze. Basically, when you activate this ability, anyone caught in this little orb that you create will be frozen in time. During that time, of course, Guldo can Ki Blast or melee attack or use one of his supers to deal damage to the survivor. His first super attack is Paralysis. After a brief animation, he creates an orb wherever he was locked onto and freezes the survivor. As you can see, the survivor was able to escape, so as long as you are not caught in that initial blast, you are good. His second super attack is a standard volley. It does decent damage, roughly lasting around 3 seconds. For his evolutionary rate, it roughly takes 3 to 4 civs, accounting for the auto evolve time. He has a standard single Ki Blast as well as a standard melee. His health pool is very squishy. It's very low. It might be lower than Cybermen or the same. It roughly is going to take 2 super attacks to take Guldo down, or maybe just 1 good standard volley. If Guldo does die, it's not the end of the world. You will automatically evolve to Recoome at level 2, just like Cybermen to Nappa if Cybermen were to die. However, you just do not get the buff that Guldo provides, which we'll go over now. If you manage to get Guldo to max evolution, he becomes a permanent scout for, I believe, the rest of the game. He can spot survivors and tell you their position, as well as freeze them in place for a while to give you a chance to get there. I believe he can also act as a free CC break. If you happen to get meleeed by a survivor, if Guldo is in the area, he will come by and attack the survivor attacking you. Moving on to Recoome, you're level 2 for the Ginyu Force Raider. He has 3 active skills that consist of Scouter, a CC break, as well as Recoome Kick. Scouter, of course, to help you find survivors or civilians, not much to that. Recoome Kick just being a actual good traversal tool that you can use, or just a standard active skill that you can use in fighting survivors. And then of course your standard CC break, just when you're getting meleeed or if you're getting stun locked, you can use the CC break to get out of it. For his first super attack, I don't know the actual name, I'm just gonna call it Recoome Charge. Basically, after a few seconds of striking a pose, you go a very far distance, what I can only assume is a melee attack. During this gameplay, none of them landed this super attack, so I don't actually have an animation for you, but most of them did use it as just another traversal tool to catch up to survivors very quickly. His second super attack is just a standard beam. After a few seconds, the beam will fire, and whoever's in the way of it, of course, will take damage. For his evolutionary rate, I believe it's going to take roughly 3 survivors, 3 to 4 civilians, accounting for the auto evolve time, or of course you could go 1 civ, 2 survivors. He has a standard double Ki Blast spam. It doesn't look like it does too much damage, but you are able to spam this, as well as just another standard melee. For his health pool, I'd probably have to match him up with someone like Nappa. I think he's a little more tankier than Nappa, but he can still be killed pretty easily. There was never a super landed on Recoome in this gameplay, but I can imagine it's probably roughly going to take 4 or 5 supers to actually kill Recoome. And again, don't worry if Recoome dies, you will automatically evolve to level 3 Jeice and Burter. But if you happen to not die as Recoome and get him to max evolution, you get this small buff. The small buff you get is basically just an empowered melee attack when you're playing as Jeice and Burter. Recoome will just come out of nowhere and help you, and basically you're getting meleeed by 3 people, which is kind of cool. Moving on to Jeice and Burter, and I know I'm pronouncing their names wrong, but if I was gonna go with the actual pronunciation, it'd be like Jeice and Burter. I don't even know, but yeah, I get it. But you mainly play as Jeice with Burter being your backup. Jeice has 3 active skills, including a Scouter, a standard CC break, and he can unleash Burter to basically be a scout or to fight during a fight with survivors. For his super attacks, he has 2. The first one is Crushing Ball, and while he's doing a Crushing Ball, Burter will fire off a small bit of a volley. For his second super attack, I do not know the name, but pretty much all this is, it's an offensive and defensive move. While you're in this state, I believe survivors cannot melee you. They might be able to use super attacks on you, but they cannot melee you, and simultaneously you are spamming Ki Blasts all around you. Pretty much similar to Vegeta's volley. For his evolutionary rate, it roughly is going to take 4 survivors to get to level 4, depending on the auto level time. For civs, it's probably around 5 or 6, but at that point in the game when you're level 3, you probably won't have a lot of civs, but it should take roughly 3 to 4 survivors, again, depending on the auto evolve time. He has a standard double laser ki blast. You can basically say this is the same as level 2 Frieza. For his health pool, I don't think we ever saw him actually get hit roughly, so I'm going to just assume it is the same as Vegeta, or maybe just a little bit less, but I imagine he's a lot more tankier than Recoome while still being squishy enough to be able to kill to at least get to Ginyu. Now again, if the survivors do defeat you as a level 3, don't worry, you will automatically evolve to Ginyu, but if you max out your evolutionary charge, what will happen is when you are Ginyu, Jeice and Burter will assist in your super attack as Ginyu, which makes it extremely powerful. I forgot to mention this with Recoome as well, but every time you get the max evolution, your previous evolution will be able to help you if you are getting meleeed. It's like a free CC break, but apparently it only happens once. Moving on to the man himself, Captain Ginyu. As you can see on screen right now, if you max evolution all 3 of your characters before you get Ginyu, you get certain buffs. You get a health increase from Guldo, you get a damage increase from Recoome, and you get a movement speed increase from Jeice and Burter, which is actually really insane. So I imagine, let's say you die as Guldo, but you succeed as Recoome, you'll still get that damage increase, but you won't get the health increase. Same thing if you die as Jeice and Burter, but you survived as Guldo, you know, you get the health increase, but not the speed boost. So for Captain Ginyu, he has 4 active skills. Of course, he has his Scouter and his standard CC break. One of his abilities just looks like a standard melee charge ability. And the other one, I can only assume, is a certain buff that gives you, I think, all the buffs that we talked about previously. I think when you activate this, you do get the move speed, the health, and the damage increase, or that could just be passively added to your character. I'm not really sure what this does, but when he does activate this, he moves extremely fast. But again, that could just be the movement speed buff passively from the previously stated segment. Now for his super attacks, as we saw before, one of his super attacks includes Jeice and Burter if you got them to max evolution. It's a huge hard-hitting super. It took a level 3 down from full health to literally no health. The next super is my personal favorite. It is the body change attack. It starts out as a melee charge, and if you happen to land it on that person, no matter what D change level they are, you will get whatever their level 3 or level 4 is set. So let's say their level 3 is set to Android 17. You will become Android 17 because that is their level 3 and level 4. You actually lose your Scouter active skill because you no longer have the Scouter because you switched bodies. However, you still retain the other 3 active skills and the super you had previously, but you cannot body change again after that. Additionally, if you do land body change, it actually decreases the survivor's D change level that you landed on. So if he was level 3, he would now become level 2. If he was level 4, I would imagine it would, of course, get rid of his level 4. I don't know if it would change it to level 3 or it would go down to level 2 because technically his base D-Change level was level 3 before he became a level 4. Also, we didn't really get to see it, but when the survivor gets switched with bodies, apparently their level 3 transfer becomes Ginyu, which also maybe hints that we're getting transfers for the Ginyu Force or maybe just Ginyu alone. Who knows, but Ginyu becomes a level 3 transfer for that survivor. So I don't know if the supers that survivor gets to use, he can maybe use Milky Cannon or the Ki Blast are the same. We're gonna have to find out in the playtest tomorrow. Hopefully that situation occurs. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the full analysis on the Ginyu Force raiding team. It's a super fun raider. I think it's going to be a blast. Some people might be worried he's going to be a little too OP, but with the current meta and survivors being crazy about wanting to fight the raider, and we know how Spopovich games go, I think a lot of people probably won't let Guldo get to level 2 without at least putting up a fight, as well as Recoome maybe. But if you're fast enough for the Ginyu Raiders, you can get level 2 fast, level 3 fast, right? So it's all going to depend. I wouldn't make any, you know, assumptions now. I think it's just going to be a fun raider, and Season 3 looks good. Next video, we will go full analysis on the Survivor skins as well as the transfers. There's not too much to talk about, but I will post a video on that. Well, actually, maybe later today. Just because we get to see the playtest tomorrow, so we can go over that. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this was informative to you. If you missed the live stream, have a great one. Like, subscribe, please. It helps a lot. I'll see you guys all later. Enjoy your rest of your day. Bye.